Hi, my name is Jason Most with InRoads Credit Union, and I am super excited to be here with you tonight for another episode of DIY with InRoads. Today is another special episode of DIY with InRoads. We have Shannon Quimby, DIY expert and stylist, in the house tonight. She's going to be upcycling with you. She's going to be taking some of this old stuff and making some really cool, beautiful, on the cheap holiday decor. Specifically fall. We're looking at fall colors here today, guys, and I'm really excited about this. I love summer, but there's just something really special about that fall air when it starts settling in. So, without further ado, I want to introduce Shannon Quimby, DIY expert and stylist. Shannon?
Thanks, Jason. Thank you so much. What a great intro. I'm always excited to be DIYing with InRoads Credit Union. And like Jason said, we are talking fall season. Fall is actually my favorite time of the year because I love how the colors are changing. And I'm a big nature walker. And so this DIY that I'm going to show you, it totally relates to it. And also what Jason said was on the cheap. Yeah. I am cheap. I do not like to spend a lot of money, especially on design and decor. And I've been doing it my whole life. And there really wasn't a term for it. There wasn't DIY or reuse or recycle or renew or repurpose, all the re's. No, it was just basically how we lived, how we grew up. You know, we didn't have a lot of money. And so we repurposed what we already had into something else. And this project that I'm going to be showing to you today is not just one, but that's the beauty about when you reuse and rethink and DIY. It usually overlaps and creates multiple different things that you can make from one thing. So, fall season. We're talking wreaths, right? I mean, I don't know, if you go into the stores, they start popping up in July and August. You'll start seeing, right, all the fall decor, Halloween. You know it. But one thing that's really, really popular are wreaths. And I don't know about you, but they can be really expensive. I mean, anywhere from $25, I've seen them over $200 a piece. And I always like to DIY and create something original and unique, and like Jason said, on the cheap. Now, also what I like to do is salvage. So I want to reuse what I already have. And usually it's stuff where, you know, it's kind of run its course in the decor and design. And so what we're going to do today, and I'm sure you have it at your house, or you probably know somebody that does, and you like it might go in the garage sale, or you might want to donate it, is old canvas art. Like this. This was in my son. My son's a big soccer player. And so he had this in his bedroom when he was real little. Don't use it anymore. And I thought, well, what could we use? What could we DIY and reuse fall-like with old canvas art? I know, you're like, Shannon, how do you think of that? How do you think canvas art into a wreath? Well, you want to look at something with a different pair of glasses on. And so what I thought was, when I pick up something, I will turn it upside down and flip it around and turn it back like this. And I saw this frame here, and I said, well, all wreaths don't have to be circles. And they can be squares, they can be rectangles, they can be ovals. And so this one right here, this is a finished product of a piece of canvas art, and that is the frame. So, that's what we're going to do today. Plus, if you ever see any of the DIYs that I do with DIYs with InRoads Credit Union, I always add special extra bonuses that we don't promote. So when you get to watch, like today, you're going to see even more. So I'm excited to share that. Always surprises.
So Kim says she loves the idea of a square wreath. And I just want to remind everyone who's watching and listening in right now, feel free to comment below, ask questions. This is, we want to be able to engage as we're going along and making these wreaths tonight.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And Kim, you're absolutely right. You know, there's, There's no DIY police. I always say that, that's like my go-to. They're not going to show up and give you a ticket going, excuse me, that wreath is not round. Exactly, Kim. So we're going to have fun. So one thing that I've noticed on some of the canvas art, not all of them have, and I started peeling this off. A lot of times on the back, they're stapled. They're stapled to the back of the frame. This one wasn't. This one was actually just glued. And I literally, as you can see, so simple, I just started pulling it off. Now some of them are stapled onto the back, and it takes a while to get the staples out, but then it's usually glued, and it's the same process. So, really easy. I just take this off all the way around. Now, when I'm done with this, isn't that pretty? No. So I'll notice that there's some of the wood is frayed, okay? Or you'll have some string on it. The wood's a little frayed. So I would take, after you take the canvas off, and we're going to save it for later, just get some sandpaper, 150 grit. Now you're thinking, okay, well, what does 150 mean? Well, the higher the number, the smoother the sandpaper, okay? So there is, or the lower the number, the coarser. So you have 60, which is really rough. You got the 60, the 80, the 1, the 150, the 200, the 220, and so forth. I usually go with the 150. It's kind of the go-to right in the middle. And so you just kind of want to sand around the edges, and you know, because you don't want to get a splinter. You don't want to get a little sliver. And some of them they'll do. They'll have maybe a little bit of that. Or in some cases that they're glued, they'll have some excess glue on sand. So just want to go around, sand it down until it's smooth to the touch. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty about DIY. You know, we're not mass producing something, we're creating it with our hands. And so I like the imperfections of the wood. So you just go around, hit the edges and such, until you think that it looks good. Now this one, notice, right, this looks pretty good. I mean, right out of the gate. There's some that have, I've taken the paper off, and some of the canvas art actually has little corners also, support corners on each one. Those are cool too, because you can fill those corners in, which is actually a bonus. I've also noticed some that have an X on that. I kind of stay away from that one, because I mean, you can fill it in. But I always kind of like the hole in the center and so forth. But once again, there's no right or wrong in how to do it, or in the frame that you have, but just be aware of that, okay?
That was a comment that Steve made. He's noticed on some of these that they have crossbars, and what do you do in that situation? Well, you can, if you want to, a lot of those crossbars are only with one nail. Or you can do a karate chop, boom, and just, boom, pop it right through. And so you can take those apart. Really simple, really easy. Especially if it's a nice big, usually those are bigger pieces of canvas art that have those support, but they're easy to take apart. What I've also found is, and notice I'm dusting this off, I'm just kind of dusting some of the sand dust that I did. I'll show you this other one. I'm kind of cheating ahead here. But this one I took off, this is press board. Okay? So you can put this one outside. So if you do have canvas art that has press board, you don't want to hang it outside. And the reason why is because it's going to absorb the moisture, being in the Pacific Northwest, correct? And so it's going to expand, and it's going to, with all the glues and stuff, it's going to fall apart. It's going to look really nasty. So if you've noticed the one that you have that nice press board that's compressed, you can keep those inside. The other ones with wood, such as the finished one that I have here, inside, out, it doesn't matter, okay? Sean Stewart just tuned in. I know for a fact, this is an old neighbor of mine. Oh. They have wreaths on their door year-round. So I know that he's super excited about tuning in tonight.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm so excited. So now, speaking of, that's the great thing also about year-round. I have an old dog, and I walk him 3 to 4 times a day. That's our special time together. And this is also a really wonderful project to do with kids because they're always gathering stuff, right? All the leaves that are falling, the pine cones, the twigs, the rocks. And it's great, you know, you just take a bag with you and you just start gathering Mother Nature. And especially, once again, in the Pacific Northwest, we have so much of that. It's just abundance that we can just go on this wonderful walk and come back with such wonderful things to DIY with. So now when you do that, when we start the process, I want you to think about this as a jigsaw puzzle, all right? So when you start this, don't rush it because you're literally adding pieces of puzzle to the final product here. And this one, I would work on it for a little bit and then I would take a break and I'd work on it the next day and take a break, just like a puzzle. And so if you don't have the space, I usually have like a little card table that I can set aside. One thing that I do is I actually fold the legs under the card table and fold it down and I'll slide it under the couch or I'll slide it under the bed. If you don't have a card table, you can literally lay it on a blanket and then you can slide the blanket under the couch. All these little DIY little tidbits, you know, if you live in a small space and don't have the room to leave it out, or if you have cats or kids that want to, you know, mess it all up, it's just a fun way that you can store it easily. So you've got your stuff. I've got pine cones, I've got bark, I have actually leftover stuff from other projects that I've got at the craft store, like these one-offs, these nice little cotton balls here. So I kind of have a combination of Mother Nature and some things from the craft store. I like to get, I do like to use some of the craft store beads, berries. Yes, I speak for a living. Berries, because I noticed that a lot of the berries, if you go out, they'll shrivel up and they don't look too attractive. So I do like to use the artificial ones. But also, when you start, then you organize it. Just once again, think about the puzzle, right? You have your end pieces, you have the sky, you have, you know, the barn, and you kind of start organizing that. And so I also organize, if I got any branches or twigs, I'll organize them in large to small. Because when you're starting to add pieces on, you want to be able to, when you're layering, you want to start with the larger pieces, and as we go, we eventually go to the small. So there is no rhyme or reason, it's how you want to make it look, okay? So you need your glue gun, trusty glue gun. Whoopsie, it unplugged, hold up. Came unplugged. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Okay, still on. So I will start, so I got this one right here. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of start layering some of the big pieces. Just kind of do a dry run. And kind of set them down like that. And I'll go, oh yeah, that's good. And then it's okay, FYI, when you start to lay the glue down on the glue gun, you want to put it on the frame first, your big pieces, okay? That's the easiest way to stick. Now, if you've never used a glue gun before, it's hot. It's hot on the tip, okay? So please be careful with that because, trust you me, it only takes 1 or 2 times to touch that and you're just like, oh, yum! Also, even the glue's hot. It's called a hot glue gun. You can get these at any craft stores also, and they come in large. They got large. They actually have hot glue guns. They have warm glue guns with all different temperatures, and they can run at any price, anywhere from $8 on up to really spendy ones. Okay, so I'm just showing this. See how I already started layering with the big pieces like this? So you just basically, and that's why it's so good to have your stuff organized, because when you want to start gluing it down, it's easy to see, so you know how many pieces you have. And that's also really important too, is a lot of times you might use a lot more than you had. And so that's why it's good that you use a lot of glue, by the way, on these. If you have to set it down, you can tuck it away and then go gather more Mother Nature. And I do that all the time. I do that all the time. So the fun thing about this, and I'll show you what I'm doing, is not only, oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. I'm not trying to match the corners. See on this? You know, it looks like a family, right? Everything's coming together. But I'm not trying to make each corner identical. That's the beauty about using organic material, is that it's always unique. It's always different. And see how I'm building up like that? So what's fun on these too is you want to use on the inside also, and that creates that layered look, and also on the outside. So that literally just took a few minutes. And I'll set that over here. And so here's one. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. Here's that little one that I pressed forward. So as you can see, I started adding the larger pieces, and then I started layering. This one I even put across like the corner brackets in there, and it didn't even have it. But it's fun to put little pieces as you start to build a layer up.
Jake says that you could make anything out of it. This is an art piece.
It is. It is. You're absolutely right. And speaking of art, you want to think color and texture. So when I'm adding these pieces along here, and I'll lift this one up. Notice how we have darker brown, right? And it's a real muddled texture. And then I have these really small, smooth, lighter pieces of wood. And so that is also important to create that texture and balance and depth with the wreath. And also when you're organizing. So I would have, see, I have just 2 pieces of wood, found them on the same location, but they're completely different. And so when I was talking about layering, I have this piece here. I think what I'll do is then I'll add a lighter color of something else. Oh, that looks good. And add it onto the top. Now, it's okay if your glue shows on the bigger pieces, okay? Because eventually, as we continue to build this up, ooh, look at this piece. Yeah, who gets more excited about twigs and branches than me? Oh, this is beautiful. But that is the beauty about Mother Nature, you know. It's like, ooh, where are we going to go with this one? I don't know. And so sometimes where it's like the piece that can't go, it's like, I can't figure out where this piece goes. I don't know where it goes. I don't know where it goes. I'm struggling with it. I'm just, not working. Can't find that. I'll do this one. No, don't like that one either. Oh, this one's cool. This one looks like a claw. We're going to put that. I will put that right here. Yeah, there we go. But it's all about building. It's all about layering, larger to small. And I also like when you're out going out on your walks, think about, you know, different angles and different shapes, and because that also creates this. I love this piece here that I found. You know, oh my gosh, it just has so much life to it. You know, it's all gnarly and twisted and such. When I saw that one, I was like, score! That is so pretty. I love it.
Katie says it looks very Oregon coast in the fall.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Or Oregon coast year-round. But, yeah, oh yeah, see, I like how that's coming together. Check that out. Really nice, really nice. So now, I'm going to add something else. So I'm going to see, oh, let's pine cones, which, of course, abundance here in the Pacific Northwest. And so, I want to put the pine cones, as you can see, I'm putting in the corners, like this, but I also maybe built it up a little bit, around that. So this one's good like this. And once again, this is such a fun project that everybody can do this. Everybody can. And it's a great family project, especially when the weather starts turning and we're indoors a lot longer. What I do love about this project is that it does take time. And, oh, great, I just found a great piece of the puzzle right there. But it does take time with this project, but it's not so much time, it's more like a little loving. You know, because we're starting with nothing, really, just this old, you know, soccer canvas art piece. Notice I'm already on my third glue stick already. Let's see, did that stick?
Katie says this is a great project for kids.
Oh, it totally is. If you're a teacher, too, by the way, a fantastic project to do in class. Definitely. You could have the kids go on assignment, right? Bring in that. You know, parents would be donating canvas art left and right. And so the cost is, well, I bought that the soccer canvas art a quadrillion years ago for probably $9, and this is all free. My glue stick, you know, I mean, you get a big bag of it for like $5. But anywho, I just love how this is, oh, I love how you can just add, once again, remember I'm telling you about, it's layers and building and texture, and also these pine cones, these are the long skinny ones that don't get a lot of loving, right? Everybody wants those big fat round ones, and these get looked over all the time. They don't get a lot of special attention. And that's what I like, is like, let's use what we have a lot. So look at that. See how that's coming together already? Like that? Do you see how I'm layering? And then I put one, you know, inside the frame, and then I built outside. So there's, and all the different colors. Oh, did I show you this one? I don't know if I showed you that one again, but see, remember I was telling you about the different lights of textures? So, let's see what else. Ooh, it's so excited. No. End piece. It's so funny. I picked this same piece up like 4 times, and I still can't, for some reason I'm drawn to this piece. So eventually I think it's going to end up into that. But I'm going to go into, let's see, these. No, these are really small. I'm going to go into, let's go into these. So this was, I had some of these. I literally had 2 left over from an art project. And FYI, if you go to the craft stores right now, already, this is Halloween stuff. It's 50% off. So this, I think this was like 50 cents all said and done. So use cheap scissors, okay? Don't use your good scissors. My mom would always be so mad at me because I would always be using her very nice sewing scissors when I was doing my crafts. And she would just be like, oh, those are my sewing scissors. So, yeah, I know, Mom, I know, I hear you.
Use your DIY scissors.
That's right. That's right. So I went from large, now down to small, the detail work. It's kind of like painting a canvas, and you know, you start with the background and then you eventually start to add the characters. Oh, that's nice. I like that right there.
Hello to you, Randy.
So let's see, I'm going to add more. But once again, don't force it. That's I think a really good piece of advice to give is you're like, oh, I have to get this side done, or I have to get that side done first. No, just let it flow. You know, just let the pieces go. And notice I always do my dry run first, so I'll kind of set it in there and then take it out and then glue it down. Okay? Because once the glue dries, I mean, you can pop it off. That's kind of the fun of using the glue gun. It is somewhat forgiving. So I also, let's see, how's this? Oh, I like that. Yeah. So my whole life, I've been doing this with the family. We have, if it was broken, we fixed it. And if we couldn't fix it, we turned it into something else. And so I literally have just grown up with that mentality that, you know, we don't throw it away. All the way down to, you know, like the one little twig of something, and we'll find something to use it for. And the fun thing about wreaths is, like you were saying, Jason, your friends, who was that, Sean? Was it Sean?
Yes.
Yeah. They can be year-round. And especially, once again, in the Pacific Northwest, we have so much just right out our door that we can gather. It's so pretty. Oh, see how that's coming together? Right? Oh. So I lifted that up a little bit too early before the glue set. No worries, it's all good. So these are fun. Look at these little cotton balls right here. This is a fun piece to do. Once again, this was left over from another project, but you can, once again, you can get these at any craft store, you guys. Very easily available, or you can order it online, you know, if you don't want to go out, you know, it can be delivered right to your home. But I also like, once again, notice I'm doing, I would actually call these neutral tones. The fall neutrals. I'm not adding any blues. Do you see how it kind of all goes together? There's no blues in this, there's no greens. I kind of stayed with the theme into the browns and the creams and the whites and a little bit of the rust. So, because I wanted more of a kind of a soothing, softer wreath, if that's even something, I don't know. But visually, that's what I was going for. Plus, there's not a lot of blue in the fall, you know, that you can pick. There are the hydrangeas, you know, the hydrangeas that are dried. Those look spectacular. You know, if you have the crimson, how pretty would that be? But they're very delicate, very, very delicate. So you have to be careful with that.
Well, and again, I think that color, you know, if people are making wreaths for every occasion, right? So they can work in the color as depending on the occasion.
Totally, yeah. And that's the fun thing too about this project is that you can keep building. So say you're done with the fall, but then in Christmas, right? Or you're coming into Thanksgiving and Christmas, you can continue to add. Notice in this one, I just stopped here and stopped there because I really loved the wood. I loved the exposure of the wood. But you can continue to build up on it and create and see where it goes. I like this one. This is actually a silk leaf, but I liked the curve of it. And notice I just cut it off of that. But this, I like these because, remember I mentioned earlier that you'll see some of the glue from the glue gun. That's when you start to take these real smaller pieces and you want to look at it and go, oh yeah, I got a big clump of glue right here. And so I think what I'll do is I'll hide that and put the glue, oops, I'm already out of glue. I told you, a lot, we use a lot of glue. These are the thinner ones. There's actually thick glue sticks too. For a glue gun with a thicker hole, by the way, a bigger hole. How many times have I gone to the store and bought the wrong size of glue sticks? Yeah. So FYI, make sure you get when you get your glue gun, or if you already have one, that the right glue sticks coordinate size-wise with the glue gun. Okay.
Jessica says these would make great frames for harvest style photos.
I'm totally stealing that idea. You're absolutely right. That is such a good idea. That's, you know, Jason, that's one of the best things about DIYing. So I speak all across the country. At homes and garden shows, and I do DIY classes, and I'm always in awe of other creativity that comes through while we're talking about it and doing a DIY. Because sky's the limit to creativity. And so we all keep learning. And so that's a great idea, Jessica. I love that. Love that. I'm going to put one more little guy here on this. Oopsie. But, oh my gosh, I really like how this is coming together. And it's pretty fast. It really is. You know, we've just been together this evening for, I don't know, half an hour or so. And it's coming together really fast. Well, I can't wait to show you this one. It's really pretty. Look at that. Right? So I like it how it is. I like how it's done already. But like I said, you can keep layering and add more and more, all the way down to the little itty bitties. Like these. Oh, okay. I had these little, I don't even know if you can see them, right? The little dried stuff. This is really delicate. Very, very delicate. And very time consuming. So I wanted to show you this one. If you wanted to do one like this, what I would do is do a bunch first, like so. I know it's so hard to see like that, okay? And add glue around it so you're clumping it together. Because to try to glue these individually, yeah, I would need a cocktail for that one later on. But that's what keeps them together, and that just adds just a little touch of cuteness, you know. But once again, remember I talked about we started with the big pieces first, you know, the big chunks, and now I'm just going down to the real little ones like so. But that's also a good, saves a lot of time by just kind of putting all that glue in so like that. And then, I think I'll put them right here. So I'm kind of shoving these down into, whoops, there we go. I don't know if you can see that right there, but I just added a little bit there. Okay? So, there's that. Like, I mean, I can just keep going and going and going. Like, these are fun too. Oh, what are those? What are the brown ones, pokey ones? These are artificial, these are fake ones. Oh, I forget what those are, right? They drop off the trees. They're everywhere. They're real pokey. Oh, that's going to drive me crazy. Maybe you guys could tell us what that is later. But anyway, so how to hang it. So this is just some leftover rope that I had. I like using rope or ribbon versus the wire. Some of these canvas art pieces will have the wire on the back, or they'll even have the tooth hook thing. But I want to stay with more of an organic feel, right? And so I usually have leftover rope, string, twine lying around. And so, and I also like the bigger piece. I just kind of like it more chunky because this is chunky. You'll get a nail, 2 nails. And once again, we're DIYing. You can measure the distance that you want. I think this is about 3 feet, okay? And I'm gonna nail it in first through the rope, put the nail in through the rope, okay? And I'm just gonna nail it in, like so. Whoops, let's see. Okay, oh. It's hard on that angle. Here we go. There we go. Right? Yes! Just go with the flow, go with the flow. Much better, much easier. Okay?
Kim asked, can you staple it?
Yes, you can, but you'd have to get one of those industrial staple guns, because it's not going to go into the wood. So you definitely can. You can't just use a stapler. You have to get a industrial framing staple gun. But once again, I always just kind of like use nails and a hammer. You know, if you got one of those, better to you, definitely. So this one fell off, no big whoop. I'll just shove it right back down there. So you do that, and then you do the same thing on the other side, and you're golden. And then notice on this, I did it, and I frayed it on the end, okay? Another option, if you want to, if you don't like the nail sticking out on the side, if you have the nails too long, you can tie a knot. Well, this has some, there we go. You can tie it in a knot, like that, and then you can put the nail through the knot. So, and then hammer it through, and then twist it. That's what I did here. Do you see that? Yeah. Okay. So, now, what are we going to do with the canvas? This is the bonus that I was talking about. Okay. So, if you go on InRoads Credit Union's Facebook page, you'll literally see the before and after of this wreath. And so this was the canvas that was on this frame right here. Okay? Yeah.
Katie says, we love bonuses.
Well, you're going to like this one because once again, I'm reusing and rethinking of what we already have and how we can dress it up. Okay? So, once again, just took this canvas right off. And I have this old box here, and the lid it's all dirty and kind of dented, but I like it. I like the front of it, and I thought, well, you know, what's happening is it started getting tucked under, and I hadn't thrown it away yet. But I'm always about reusing, right? How we can make multiple things from one. So I thought, well, heck, why not dress it up? So that's what we're going to do. So all you need for this, you need the canvas, a box. This is just the lid. You're going to need spray adhesive. Definitely do spray adhesive. I noticed when I've done it with glue sticks or glue gun, it's all bumpy and it doesn't adhere very well. And scissors and a pen. So, easy. This is instead of measuring. Okay, this is the DIY cheat. I'm giving you another great tip. What you do, you flip it up on the side. Okay, and you're going to go, okay, well, let's see. So I'm going to start marking like that till I get to the end, and then I flip it down, and then I go and I continue on to the other end like that, and I flip it up. Okay, so. And like so. And now I go on the outside, on this end, and I'm doing it all the way around, okay? Like so. And did I do this one? I don't think I did. Like that. And it creates a pattern. I'm going to show you the pattern. So you don't have to measure. Get your measuring stick out, like, okay, that's you know, 1 1/4 inches and so forth. Just use this as the pattern, and it's going to turn out something like this, right? Now, the reason I have these overlap, I'm going to show you because it's much easier than when you adhese it to the lid. So, what I also found out, the canvas, it's really easy to cut. You don't need any heavy-duty scissors. And you just basically now cut around your outline all the way to the end, okay? And I cut in these little squares here, like that. See, there's 2 of them right here. And I'll finish that on this end, like so. Oh, you know what? I forgot the outline on this end. I did the inside, but I didn't do the outside. So I don't know how much I want to cut it.
I think Kim's getting ahead of you here a little bit. She's asking if the leftover stuff is going to go into this box.
Into the box?
Yeah.
You're too good. You're too good. I am going in that direction, yes. So not only is this used for storage, but I'm going to add a little whimsy. Instead of having this lid that's kind of got all, dirt and grime and stuff on it. Okay, I'm going to add a little flair to it. So the next step is then you take your spray adhesive, okay, and I'm going to step out a little bit here. You spray it. Now, I do not get a manicure. I do not have nice nails because I'm always DIYing. I'm always messing with dirt and so forth. So if you've got a really nice manicure, put gloves on, okay? So also, you want to spray this, and this place is very well ventilated. You want to spray it outside or in a very well ventilated room. And you just want to get all the way around. The reason I said to spray adhesive, for one, it covers it quite immediately. And two, if you use a glue gun or if you use a glue stick, it's going to be real bumpy. So I'm just going to center that back down on the pattern, push down like so. And then I'm just going to basically go around. Look how fast this is. It's so fast. This is the best thing about doing DIYs. All the DIYs that I've done with InRoads are really simple, quick, affordable, or on the cheap that we can do. Shut the front door. How cute is that? See? So then we have this box, which used to be ugly. And you put this down like that. Cute as can be.
Heather said that was fast.
Totally fast. Totally fast. And then yes. Okay? So I put this in, and it is. It's a fun thing to store it, put it away for another rainy day. I'm going to show you something. I did one. I think it's really important about DIYing is not everything goes smoothly. Sometimes, it gets messed up. You're like, oh, that didn't turn out. So I want to share one with you that I would not recommend, and I'll show you why. But yes, look at that. So store all those in. Put the puzzle away for another day. Okay? But seriously, how cute is that? So simple.
Kim says, perfect for kids to clean up with.
Duh, yeah. Now, look at this cutie. This was also another little canvas art that I did. But this is when I was telling you about, like, been there, done that, don't do it. So, the lid. Okay, now, what I did on this one is I overlapped it, like this. And when I did that, that made the box, the lid, sticky and hard to get on. So I would not recommend doing that to overlap it instead of just literally have it smooth like that. See, so it's not in there. And then it has the opening. So it's still cute, it's still adorable, but it's kind of a pain in the wazoo. Okay? I mean, right? Cutie patootie. So, but we still have leftover canvas. I know, I go from big to small. This whole kind of project has always been from big to small. So we have some left over, and because I like to always use what I have. So also seasonal. My birthday is coming up in a few weeks. I like to make my own tags. So you can make a circle, you can make square, I mean, it doesn't matter. You cut this out. Here's some twine, like this. I mean, I've never, ever, ever bought tags for any holiday. I've always made them, always made them. And the thing is, because they're clear on the back, so you can just write, to Shannon, happy birthday. But once again, it's reusing what we already have. I mean, this took 30 seconds to make? And you have your own tags, like that. Simple, easy peasy. Once again, large to small. And you can make like look at all this. Whole bunch of them. One thing also, and that I thought of, is if you didn't want to, once again, no DIY place is going to show them. Nobody's going to say, I don't know about that. If you cut these in strips, you can actually, I'm going to do two. I think I'll do two. Instead of using the rope, you can glue these together like this. I'll put a little glue right here. Press that. Oh, wrong side. There we go. Shoot. Like that. And then you can use this to hang it. Be pretty instead of rope. You know, so if you didn't have rope, once again, just use, this is all just from one thing. One thing. And we create multiple little projects, big projects, fun wreaths. And there you have it, you guys. There you have it. Did it all with just Mother Nature, leftover crafts, and canvas art that we never want to use anymore. So recap, if you came later, the frames, some come in this press board. You don't want to put those outside, those are inside. But the wood ones, like so forth, those can go inside and outside year round. So, yes.
Yeah, if you have any questions or comments for Shannon, put them down below. We're going to take a couple minutes to answer any of your questions, any and all of them. So,
so if any questions are coming in, once again, this is very cost effective. We are coming into the fall season, which also means we're coming into the holiday season, and that can add up really quick for gifts. And so by reusing what we have, we can save a lot of money. This is a really good project that you can do for school auctions, because once again, it's on the cheap. My son and I, we've always been crafting all the time, and so we make them for so many family and friends, and it's literally pennies. And we'll, when my son, he'll sell some of them and he puts them in a savings account, and he has a goal of what he's going to save up for, and so that's really important. I mean, I've had that's my very first bank account was at a credit union. It was a savings account, and it was from something that I made on my little table that I was outside the house, and I'm selling with my lemonade stand, and I was selling my little crafts too. So it's really important to continue to teach our next generation on how we can salvage and reuse and rethink, right? Turn it upside down, turn it around. How can we repurpose this instead of going out and buying new, you know, and then also creating something one of a kind, all by yourself, and it turns out way more beautiful than what you could buy store-bought and have the same thing that everybody else has.
Well, as always, Shannon, you're super efficient, and no questions, but a lot of comments, a lot of thanks. People saying that these are beautiful. Can't wait to try this with my kids. Yeah, thank you, Shannon. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So again, I want to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in tonight with DIY with InRoads, watching Shannon Quimby show us some really cool upcycling and repurposing to make these awesome wreaths. If you tuned in late or weren't able to come in right at the beginning, that's okay. All of these are available on inroadscu.org/DIY. You can go there. The landing page will have this episode and all of Shannon's other episodes. so you can tune in there via our landing page or YouTube. So again, from InRoads Credit Union and Shannon Quimby, DIY expert and stylist, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Please stay safe and healthy out there.